Go ahead.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another Tuesday, Thursday Live Animal Adventures with Jordan. And today we are actually on the road at the Cape May County Zoo in New Jersey. Today joining me is Vince, who is the supervising carnivore keeper here at the facility. And we have the honor today of working with their two new snow leopard cubs, a very much critically endangered species. You know, on these spotlights we like to feature conservation efforts, and certainly this team here is having great success with producing cubs. So in a nutshell, the snow leopard calls Central and South Asia home. And neatly enough, these guys, being named the snow leopard, call the higher elevations home. So in these rocky outcrop and mountain ranges, usually above about 10,000 elevation feet, these guys are thriving. Generally, they stay up above the tree lines because they are feasting upon prey animals like wild goats such as ibex and markhor and things like that. Now, the snow leopard is, of course, one of the big cat species, but was not really classified as a big cat until about 2006 or 2009. Now, these guys are one of the shorter big cats. These guys get about 24 inches tall, but can quite often incur snowfall of 33 plus inches where they live. So quite often, snow leopards, because of that small stature, will use some of the trails that are produced by other animals, other cats, or their prey animals that they are hunting as an ambush predator. Now, another neat thing about them is their length. Now, these guys, a bigger cat can reach about 60 some odd inches long, but neatly enough is that their tail length can be about 50% of that nose to tail measurement. So this tail is easily about 30 some odd inches, and we'll tell you about some of the purposes it serves here shortly. Now, in your adult cats, you're gonna see, like I said, shorter, longer cat, and kind of a smaller weight. These guys reach about anywhere from as low as 60, 70, 80 pounds to high up to about the 120 some odd mark, maybe a little bit more. However, a male was recorded to easily obtain, I think it was 160, 175 pounds. So they do diversify pretty greatly in their size. Now, appearances, your adults, that thick coat is a little bit of a, almost like a yellowish, smoky gray coloring. And of course, they have these black rosettes that are on the adults. On our younger cubs, these black dots, especially when they're younger, are full, solid black dots, and that rosetting occurs as they get a little bit older. Now, really quickly, we'll talk about some of the adaptations. These guys are designed to live in these cold environments. So first things first, the entire body is structured to preserve body heat. If we look here up at the top, their ears are very small, very rounded, close to the head. A lot of animals lose body heat through their ears. By having these smaller ears, they're maintaining some of it. Of course, we talked about that coat, which is designed to hold in that body temperature. And even down to the feet, they have these huge, massive paws. Even on our young cubs, you can see just how big they are. And again, those are to help keep them up above the snow or even navigate on those rocky outcrops, helping them hold on a little bit better. Which brings us down to our tail. That 30 some odd inch tail is used kind of like a balance beam. You gotta figure they're an ambush animal chasing wild mountain goats around. They've got to be quick on their feet and agile on their toes. So those feet are helping them hold on, and that tail is being like a balancing act for them to kind of give them that navigability to pursue that prey animal. Now, another neat thing about the tail is that they will store body fat. Now, a few videos ago, we talked about Monty, the red tegu, and other lizards storing fat reserves in their tails. Snow leopards do the same thing. And of course, that tail is covered in that fur to hide that body fat storage. And one more neat thing about this long tail is that when these guys are laying down, taking a nap, that tail's long enough to curl up and wrap around that face to help protect that as well. So that tail's serving a lot of purposes for these cats, and that does make sense because that tail is so long in comparison to some of the other animals. Now, one more very neat thing that's an adaptation, unlike many other big cats, they have extremely large nasal cavities. Now, these nasal cavities are designed to help them breathe that thinner air in those higher elevations, much, much easier to gain more from that air intake that they're having. So, one more neat, area to talk about is, of course, reproduction for these guys. Now, uniquely enough, again, with those big cats, snow leopards have very specific time periods in which they're mating, which is usually around late winter, which produces April to June offspring. Litter sizes can be anywhere from 1 to 5. They average about 2. And moms will produce those cubs in these rocky outcrops and dens. And the cubs are naturally born pretty defenseless. Mom has to really take care of them. And then at about 5 weeks of age, they start to become mobile. You can see our friend over there is quite mobile, and you're starting to become mobile. 5 weeks of age, they're getting mobile, and they might start venturing out of the den with mom at about 2.5 to 4 months of age. Now, mind you, snow leopard cubs will stay with mom up to about 22 months of age. Now that's when you usually see multiple snow leopards together, generally a solitary cat. Moms will stay with their young for a couple of years. Upon them leaving mom, quite often the snow leopards do travel great distances to go and find their own territory, scientists believing that this is a natural way for them to avoid the crossbreeding that can occur. So now we've told you they copulate late winter, produce cubs in April or June after about a 90 to 100 day gestation period. Little guys come out cute as buttons and then grow up very quickly to be very strong, powerful, and agile animals. So, conservation status, of course, they need your help. Anywhere from only 4,000 to 8,000 left in the wild. And I know that's quite a range for numbers, but it's because of how elusive they are and how hard it is to document them. So certainly there are many different organizations that are working to preserve snow leopards, but right here at Cape May County in New Jersey, this facility here is having huge success with their breeding program. So help support them and their efforts to preserve the species in captive management. How can you do that? Help name their cubs. Right now you can go to the Cape May County Zoo website, go on and vote for your favorite cubs' names with a small monetary donation, which will certainly help them continue to conserve and preserve these awesome, awesome animals. So guys, thank you, and tune in again on Thursday for a new species that will be spotlighting one of my wife's personal favorites. Thank you guys, we'll see you then.